Morning girls, unfortunately we're going to have to do one of these videos again because there's a year 13 presentation ceremony on Wednesday and Thursday, which means I'm not seeing you this week. Alright, now fortunately the next topic that we're moving on to is algebra solving equations, which I'm sure rings a bell. You've done this the whole way through Key Stage 3, so hopefully you should be okay with it. If not, find me during the week or talk to each other during whenever you're meant to be in study hall. Alright. Now, this is the 5th time I've tried to record this video, so I'm going to pop behind the camera every now and again to make sure it's still recording, because I'm starting to get a bit frustrated. So, first of all, make sure that you have this all down. So pause it and take it all down, and then listen to me talk you through it. So, first of all, an equation always has an equal sign, right? That's how you know that's how you know that it is an equation. So for example, x plus 4 is not an equation, x plus 4 equals 2 is an equation, alright? Second thing you must remember, we want to solve for x equals. So 2x equals is no use to us, x over 4 equals is no use to us. We want x equals. Your golden rule is change side, change sign. Now most teachers teach this the same way as I do, but I know there's a different method of doing it, so if your teacher in Key Stage 3 taught you a different method and you prefer that, that's fine, stick with that as long as you're getting the right answers. So what does change side, change sign mean? It means if a term moves from one side of the equals to the other, so from the left hand side to the right hand side, or the right hand side to the left hand side, it must change sign. And what does it mean by change sign? Well, if it's a plus on one side, it comes across and becomes a minus. Minus becomes a plus, multiply becomes a divide, and divide becomes a multiply. So make sure you've paused the screen and you've got that down. Okay, so a few more tips to remember. Next one. 3x, for example, means 3 multiplied by x. Alright? So 5x means 5 multiplied by x. 10x means 10 multiplied by x. X over 3 means x divided by 3. X over 7 means x divided by 7, and so on. And 5 over x means 5 divided by x. Now, if you have the x as your denominator, you cannot work with x as your denominator, so you always have to bring it up and multiply, bring it up to the other side and multiply, because divide turns into multiply, alright? Because you can't work with your x as a denominator. Alright, so doing a few examples of our basic easier questions. Now, x, so for example, 10x equals 40, that's number 1, sorry. If 10x equals 40, that means 10 multiplied by x equals 40. I want x equals on its own, so I'm going to say x equals, bring my 10 across. It's multiplied by on this side, so it becomes divided by. So 40 divided by 10, which is x equals 4. Alright? Easy peasy. Number 2. 7 equals 21x. Now, this is optional, alright? The difference between this question and this question is that my x is now on the right hand side. Personally, I like to work with my x's on the left hand side. Now, if you move everything, so if you move everything from the right to the left and everything from the left to the right, all the changing signs would cancel out with each other. So you don't have to do any. So if I take everything on my left and move it to my right, everything on my right and move it to my left, I don't have to worry about changing signs. So 21x equals 7 is exactly the same thing as 7 equals 21x. So if 21x equals 7, that means 21 multiplied by x equals 7, so my 21 is multiplied by on one side, so it comes across and becomes divided on the other. Alright, 7 divided by 21 is the same as a third. Alright, hopefully you find both of those nice and easy. So example number 3. X over 4 equals 2. X over 4 means x divided by 4. We want x on its own, so I have to move my 4 away. So x equals divided by becomes multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Right? Example 4. 5 equals 20 over x. Now, again, my x is on the right hand side. I like to have it on my left hand side. So I'm going to swap over. You don't have to, but I like to. So swapping everything over means that I don't have to change any signs. 20 over x equals 5. I've already told you, you cannot work with your x on the bottom as a denominator. So 20 over x means 20 divided by x, so I have to bring my x across and multiply it. So 20 equals 5 multiplied by x, which is just 5x. All right. Now, I've got my x on the right hand side again, so I'm going to swap them over again. 5x equals 20. And if 5x equals 20, my 5 multiplied by x, so 5 comes across and is divided. X equals 20 divided by 5, x equals 4. All right. So make sure you've got all those done. Now, next one. X. So your really easy ones are your add and subtract. So I think this is example 7, isn't it? So x plus 4 equals 10. I'm only going to do one each of these because they're so easy. X plus 4 equals 10. Your plus 4 comes across and becomes minus 4. X equals 10 minus 4. X equals 6. Alright? Or if you had a minus, so 10 equals x take away 7. Well, I like to work with my x term on the left hand side, so I'm going to swap everything over. So x minus 7 equals 10. My minus 7 comes across, becomes plus, so x equals 10 plus 7. X equals 17. Alright? So how can they make these a little bit more harder is when they join them together. So you have your multiply or divide in with your add or subtract. Alright? So the rule to remember now is the term attached to the x is the last to move. Okay? So whatever is physically attached to your x, so for example 3x, the 3 is attached to your x, so there's no plus or minus in between it. That's the last thing to move. Alright? So let's see. Example 9. 3x plus 4 equals 13. Alright? My 3 is physically attached to my x, my 4 is not. So I'm going to move my 4 across first. So plus 4 becomes minus 4. So 3x equals 13 minus 4. 3x equals 13 take away 4 is 9. Now I'm with an equation that I'm happy with. So 3x equals 9. That means that x equals 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. That's your answer. Alright? Or number 10. If they did 4 over x take away 2 equals 10. Right? So my 4 is physically attached to my x, so I'm going to leave it to the end, which means I'm going to move my minus 2 first. So 4 over x minus 2 comes across and becomes plus 2. So 4 over x equals 12. 4 over x means 4 divided by x. I have to get my x up and across to the other side. So 4 equals 12 multiplied by x, which is 12x. Swapping these two around side because I like to do that. 12x equals 4. And then I'm just going to finish this up here. If 12x equals 4, then my 12 comes across and is divided by, so x equals 4 over 12, which equals 1/3. Alright? So that's all kind of your basic types of questions that they can give you. I think there's one more thing. Oh yeah, no, there's two more things. Sorry, just checking that we're still recording. Yeah. So, mini subtitle is solving equations with x terms on both sides. Right? Solving equations with x terms on both sides. So the rule to remember now is, well, there's two. First of all, you move all x terms to one side and all numerical terms to the other. Alright, so you bring all your x terms to the left or the right and put all your numbers to the other side. It matters which side you put your x's to, just to make life a bit easier for yourself, to avoid having to work with negative x's. Move your x terms to the side with the bigger x. Alright? So make sure you've got that down, and let's get a couple of examples done. So whatever example we're up to is 11 or something like that. So if I said 3x plus 4 equals 7x, take away 8. So first of all, I want my x's on one side, my numbers on the other. So my question is, which side am I going to move the x's to? Well, 7x is bigger than 3x, so I'm going to move all my x's over here and move all my numbers over here. So 3x is moving, so don't need to worry about that. My plus 4 stays where it is. My 7x is staying where it is. My minus 8 is coming across to this side and it's becoming plus 8. My 7x stays where it is. My 3x comes across, it's plus on this side, so it's going to become minus. So 4 plus 8 is 12. Equals 7x minus 3x is 4x. I like to have my x's on the left hand side, so I'm going to swap these around. 4x equals 12. 4x equals 12, then x equals 12 over 4, x equals 3. Alright, I'm going to do one more, but I want you to pause it and try it yourself. So, the next one is going to be 14x take away 5 equals 12x minus 10. Alright, so pause it and try it yourself. Moving my, I have to look at which side I want to move my x's to. 14x is bigger than 12x, so my 12x is going to come across here. My numbers are going to come across that, are going to go across the right hand side. So 14x stays where it is, my minus 5 is moving, my 12x is coming across and becoming minus 12x equals. My minus 10 stays where it is, so it's still a minus. If it doesn't change side, it doesn't change sign. My minus 5 comes across and is plus 5. So 14x take away 12x is 2x. Minus 10 plus 5 is minus 5. So if 2x equals minus 5, x equals minus 5 divided by 2, which is minus 2.5 or minus 2.5. Alright, hopefully you got that. Last thing that we need to do here is when you have a fraction on both sides of the equation. Okay, so make a wee note. When you have a fraction on both sides, cross multiply. Alright, so when you have a fraction on both sides, cross multiply. So what does cross multiply mean? Let's say that you have x over 4 equals 3 over 6. Right? What cross multiply means is you take the denominator on each fraction, you move it across to the other side and multiply. So in other words, your 4 is going to come up here and multiply, and your 6 is going to come across here and multiply. Alright? So x times 6 is 6x, 4 times 3 is 12. 6x equals 12, x equals 12 over 6, x equals 2. Okay, do another one. 7 over x equals 5 over 9. Cross multiplying, so my x is going to come across up here, 9 is going to come across and multiply up here. 7 times 9 is 63. 5 times x is 5x. I like to have my x's on this side, so I'm going to swap around. 5x equals 63, and if 5x equals 63, x equals 63 over 5, which is the same as 12 and 3/5. Alright, So that's everything that you need. I want you to try exercise M6 or page 148. Exercise M6.1. Questions 1 to 47, and this is a very important topic, so I want you to do all 47 of those. I'm also going to upload a second video to help you move on to the next bit. Alright? So thanks for watching.